right. Some real shit for you niggas. Check it out. Am I weak or am I strong? Can my mind carry me on? I'm striving to get this money, but cowards say that it's on. Who am I not to do me, nigga, and get it on? I'm striving to get this money, but cowards say that it's on.
I'm having dreams of my enemies killing me, cause the way I be chasing my currency and dealing with bitches who work on their knees. The piece of young G, so I don't sleep, cause I got seed to feed. So I take no dose to ride with calicos and 44s. Made me a sick individual, mind of a criminal, acts of a serial killer, nigga. Don't make me kid at you. Gotta get this money, nigga. I be damned if I'm bummy while laughing at you niggas getting this cake. You niggas fake, shoot the A out the cake. So what can I say? These rampant niggas don't play. R.I.P. A-Wall, screaming fuck all y'all gon' stand tall.
Am I weak or am I strong? Can my mind carry me on? I'm striving to get this money, but cowards say that it's on. Who am I not to do me, nigga, and get it on? I'm striving to get this money, but cowards say that it's on. Am I weak or am I strong? Can my mind carry
LTA, this your boy Doe. Yeah, we just doing another video from the Ghetto Boys podcast, Ghetto Boys Reloaded. Shout out to Face of Willie D, rest in peace, Bushwick. And they got $1 million worth of game on there, Wallow and Gilly. And you know, just another few minutes of some real conversation.
Black people, we control cool, but we don't own it.
We control cool.
We control cool, but we don't
own it.
But the system know how to monetize it. Like if you look at music, right? Look at music. Look at it. You know, we selling the most music, but most of them executives, they don't look like us.
They sure don't.
You know what I'm saying? So it's understanding ownership. You know what I mean? When you look at Tyler Perry, when you look at certain people, and when they talk ownership, that shit be real. A lot of people look at them like, oh, they just tripping because a motherfucker say, man, here go $10 million. But you could have made that 10 yourself, and you could have still owned your shit. But I think a lot of times we don't know that, and taxes is important too. Tax attorneys, we make sure that, because it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, we control cool, but if you go back to the beginning of the time, if you look at James Brown, you look at Lil Rich, you look at all our people, we always control cool from the beginning of time, all the way up to now. We control it, but we don't own it. When is we gonna put ownership on our cool? You know what I mean? I think that walk, Willie, when you just walk, it's natural. You ain't trying. It's just naturally cool. The way you're gonna respond to a motherfucker is naturally cool. We control cool. We created cool. The idea of cool, it come from us.
When you got out of prison. And the reality of it is every other race emulates the black race.
Yeah.
You know, we could pull up
it's not a bad thing.
We could pull up a bunch of videos right now where it's two white boys fighting and they calling each other niggas. What's up, nigga? What you want? We can't pull up no video with two black men fighting and they calling each other crackers.
Oof. We just had that conversation with Mark. Morgan Norman, we had a conversation with him, and he, like, this is something that he brought up first. So people acknowledge it. People know what time it is. It ain't no denying it. Wallow, when you got out of jail, you literally hit the ground running. You start watching those videos. You took to Instagram immediately. You start making those videos, and you run toward the camera. Like, yo, so let me tell you, and you just start dropping game, telling people what's going on. Now, when people hear you talk post incarceration, they hear you talk, not even like right now, they hear you how you talking. People say, man, this guy here is sharp, he's smart. It makes one wonder, how did somebody that sharp get caught up in the first place?
Because it was like this, Will. In the ghetto, attention is God, acceptance is God. And I was worshiping God coming up in the ghetto. And, you know, in my neighborhood, when I seen a dude pull up with the broke chain on, with the Benz, he had the Gucci's on and all that shit, I seen that the women respected him more than the dude that was walking home from work with a plumber belt on, or, you know, some work shoes on. He was a square. So I had OGs that was getting money in the streets. My grandmother, and there's people in my family telling me to do right, but they was outnumbered. So I came up in the streets of Philadelphia, and I became married to the streets of Philadelphia because I wanted to be down, Will. It wasn't that I ain't had no mind. It's just that my mind ain't belong to me. It belonged to the idea of people looking at me and accepting me. You know what I'm saying? So I jumped in the street game the first time I got locked up. I was 11. I went on to keep getting locked up. Spent 5 years in the juvenile facility, and I spent 20 years in prison. I spent more time.
Damn.
I spent more time on this earth incarcerated than I did free. So when you see me now, I'm living out my life. When I was in jail, I woke up and I realized why I was there.
And what was the switch?
The switch was understanding that I was in there. I was in jail for living a lie, and the lie was that I was somebody that I'm not. And the reason I say that I'm somebody that I'm not, because I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of times when I was in the street and I was growing up and I did something, or me and the homies did something, or me and cuz did something, I'll later on be like, I'll never forget, man. Me and cuz, we statute of limitation ran. I was on that.
No, don't incriminate yourself
I ain't
like
gonna say
that,
it ain't that type of shit.
Oh,
Murder and none of that. But you know, we did a stick up one time. Come to find out, the motherfucker was a cop.
Ooh, fuck.
We get in the car, I'm bitching. I'm like, oh shit, that was a cop. Oh man, we gotta give him his shit back. But that consciousness right there, I always had that every time I done something, sometime I would always question what I done. So I had it there, but when I hit the penitentiary, I'm like, yo, man.
You went to jail for that?
No, I ain't go to jail for that.
Bleep that out.
Let's go, yeah, whatever. But that was 30 years ago. I don't even have statute of limitations. But what I'm saying is I let her.
Not on the cop, man.
So whatever the case may be, I ain't, I'm just being real. So whatever the
Stop being scary, man. Goddamn.
whatever the case may be, but listen, whatever the case may be, it was like I evolved when I was in prison because I let that nigga know. Face on point though. Because we didn't have to do that with shit that was current. But like I evolved and I realized like, yo, this shit's some goofy shit, Willie.
We just trying to put the word out there. You know, the more people talk about it, the more we spread the news and let people know that, you know, all that the things that's been going on for the last 10 years or so, that shit ain't cool, man. We got the, and you know, it ain't no judgment, but nah, man, we ain't doing all that old I want to kill myself shit and all that old, you know, all that stuff, man. We gotta, you know, all this old every other word is a gunshot or this or that. I mean, of course, you know, we have some balance. You might have some, you know, song or two, whatever. But every single song, every other word is, come on, man. We gotta, you know, that's perpetuating a lifestyle that's is not ever going to survive. We already know how the gangsters go out. They die or go to jail, flat out. We know that already. Like, it's impossible to escape it unless, you know, switch it up and do something different. You know, when you start doing something different, you can do that. But you know, it never ends well. But yeah, that's all. This is LTA. We out.